I saw your transformation photo you posted yesterday or the day before. I don't even know what day it is, but good stuff. Dude.
Thanks, man.
That's not easy, like as you know.
Yeah, the fitness instructor, he posted it and invited me to collab, and I was like, it's not the 6-pack photo. I still look overweight.
Bro, you look great. You look great. I definitely have body dysmorphia.
I 100%.
Dude,
1,000%.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Are we recording?
Yes.
What a great. Oh my God, what a natural thing, catching us in the middle of a conversation, Brandon. The best kind of podcast, not manufactured at all. Welcome to Diary of a Real Reject. We haven't done one of these in a while. I got Brandon Davis with us today.
What's up, man?
My God, okay, I want to give a little bit of a backstory here. It'll segue us into what we were just talking about too. Brandon and I, we finally admitted to each other almost 1 week from today. Tomorrow would be 1 week from today. We were at a party, and I just blurted out like, honestly, man, I thought you didn't like me for the longest time. Because no joke, we would be at so many events where we would walk past each other. We'd be in groups, and we just wouldn't say hi to each other for some reason. And I had so much judgment about you, which is funny because before we were talking, you were saying how you feel like people don't like you or something like that. A lot of times I have that feeling a lot of times that people just kind of judge me when they probably don't, or they probably do, but I make the assumption they do. Mm-hmm. And as you were talking, I was thinking maybe people might think this with Brandon because like, you're a tall, good-looking guy who's built. So you have kind of the traditional, this guy might think he's alpha personality thing. I'm trying to think of what I was thinking when I would feel insecure about saying hi to you.
Well, for me, it's like if I'm at an event and it's somebody who I either know of or have met before, and like they don't say hi to me. Sometimes I overthink it and I won't say hi, and they're probably thinking the same thing I am. But I'm just like, if you don't want to say hi, I don't want to intrude and make you feel like, oh, this guy wants to talk to me. You know, I don't know. I'm just like, I overthink the situation. I'm like, well, if that person doesn't want to talk to me and I'm catching the vibe that they don't want to talk to me, I don't want to go ruin their night by even fucking saying hi. And that's like, no, the person's going to forget as soon as I walk away, probably.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I overthink it because I just like, we're all at work. I just want to not bother people.
Do you think that's a common thing?
But I did think, I was like, bro, Greg hates me. I was like, I don't know why. I remember having a conversation with my friends. I was like, why does Greg not like me? Because I remember I said hi to somebody who was like by you, and I think like we were right next to each other. And I think it was at like Doctor Strange or something. There was a moment where I was like, that guy doesn't like me.
No.
And then we had this conversation, and guess what he did right after that?
No, before actually that. It was before that.
Oh, actually, that's true. That was, you killed me.
Okay, so we were at a friend's birthday gathering, and he was doing a riff on the show, like he does the game Traitors.
Yeah, I've never watched Traitors.
I never watched Traitors either, and some people play the tactic of how they're going to play the game Traitors based off the show, and I'm like, I'm not going off the show. I've never played the game, so I don't know. But do you know how to explain how this game works?
Our friend Marshall.
Marshall.
He has 25 people. I think it was 25 or 26 people over. Mm-hmm. 3 of them, we all will go into a room one at a time, and the person running the game that night tells you if you're faithful, you're a traitor. 3 people get told they're a traitor. You have to keep that a secret. The traitor's got to try to figure out like who's a traitor with me. Faithful got to figure out who's faithful, who's traitor. And then the first round, everybody puts a blindfold on, sits around his pool. Everybody puts a blindfold on, and then the 3 traitors take their blindfold off, and they point at somebody they want to kill. Mm-hmm. Fucking pointed at me. I flew in from Nashville all the way to Burbank just to play this game for Marshall's
hours before,
just for Marshall's birthday, and I was the first one out of a game that takes 4 hours.
But I'm not kidding. Because I can't see without my glasses that well, and there was 3 of us. And they were pointing in your direction.
Kyland.
But I did not know they were pointing at you. And it was my first time. I was honestly like, I don't want to botch this.
You were like, yes, get Jeffrey Vega out of here.
I just said, whoever you're pointing at, because I have to be quiet. I'm like, mm-hmm. And then they voted you out. And I was filled with the most amount of guilt. I'm like, I have only just started bonding with this guy.
Dude, I was such a baby about it too, though. Like, I mean, I was genuinely like annoyed. I was like, fucking came here just for some first one out. I didn't like care to win, but also now I got to watch for 4 hours. But it was Wendy.
Wendy, yeah,
led the charge.
Wendy did lead the charge because right, we didn't know what we were really doing. She knew what she was doing, and we were just following her.
I heard she was spelling my name.
Is that what she was doing? I didn't see shit.
But then that led to her getting out because the people around her heard her moving, and they were the faithfuls, and they were like, "I heard movement," and it sounded like it was coming from Wendy, and she ended up dying like 5th. She got voted out by the faithful. Oh yeah,
she got caught. I got caught.
That was fun. Though. I mean, those Marshall puts on it. Like that is such a cool thing. It's a lot of work he puts into it too.
Yeah,
and I loved watching it.
I love Marshall. He's probably the only like big publicist I know that I would consider a friend.
I have a couple.
Yeah,
but he's been one of the biggest advocates for me too. Like he's been an ally for my career, and I don't work with him much now that he's at Netflix. I would if he called, I always would. But
he's got that reputation, you know. And that's what you just said is why. Because Marshall Weinbaum, for you guys who don't know, he's was mainly at the Disney publicist, who was overseeing everything for Disney. Now Disney has like all these publicists, but he was the main Disney publicist, and he was the first one to really have a conversation with us, take a chance, because we were just looked at as like YouTubers, and he started saying that we could be a lot more than that. He believed in the YouTube community as well. And that was unusual.
And he won Publicist of the Year. And I think for a reason. That dude never wasn't working and paying attention.
No.
He knows more about me than I know about me. Like he pays attention to everyone he works with. He knows what he's going to get, what you're going to get. And it's a level of detail that I've not seen from anyone else. And there's a lot of publicists who I love working with. But Marshall, and everybody know, like all the other publicists from other studios too, they know him because he works like that much.
People at WB I'm getting to know too. Larissa I really love a lot. So
Melanie Liza over there.
Oh yeah, her too. So this segment, what we often frame it as is we talk movies, shows, and celebrities and how they might have like emotionally impacted or shaped us in some way, is what we like to talk about. And to give a little bit of context with Brandon, I was excited that you were coming on because I've watched you for years, even when I thought you hated me. I was still watch your stuff because you were getting like the biggest interviews.
I watch you watch stuff.
I had no choice but to watch. I'm like, oh well, the exclusives are coming from this guy, who was you were part of comicbook.com.
Yeah,
and I mean it's comicbook.com. It's like to have that domain is a big thing for our industry. Yeah, and you're no longer with them. You're doing your own thing. You have your own outlets, and you're also into wrestling. You're a wrestler now too. You're doing a lot, but you're still so like you literally today at the time of filming this, you were coming from the Superman junket. You just interviewed, like you're doing a lot of what a lot of us want to do. You know, interview James Gunn, the cast of Superman and stuff. So I thought it would be fun to actually get to know you on a little bit more of a personal level. And of course, not off camera, only on camera.
Why talk off camera when we could share our secrets with the world?
Monetize this, Brandon. Monetize this
Isn't that the lens we have to look at everything through when you do this now?
But we talked a lot. Like, to wrap up the thing we were talking about earlier is, of course, the one time with all the body dysmorphia things that we both were talking about, when we finally spoke, we bumped into each other in LA Fitness in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm seeing, hey. And then we just ended up talking for like a half hour.
I don't even remember when. That was a while. It was like last year. I think late last year, I think.
Late last year or the beginning of this year sometime. Yeah, it was definitely before I started my weight loss journey. Yeah, it was definitely late last year. It must have been. And I was like, there's a part of my brain as we were talking, like, we're getting along. This is really weird. Oh my God. Has he always like been willing to talk to me?
I promise you the whole time. But same, like I was like, yeah, that was cool. Maybe we're friends now. Hopefully.
Are you finding that a lot more people in what we do are becoming more interested in fitness, or is it more of our circle that we run into? Because like we were outside, it was me, you, Coy talking, and we're both like nerdy movie guys who would love to work out. You know,
I think fitness is, people are always kind of tangentially aware of it if they're not interested in it, but it's also one of those things that like a lot of people probably scoff at if you try to talk about it. Like if they're not interested in it, people probably feel like you're trying to impose fitness upon them. And I'm an advocate for, I think everybody should work out and do it if you want to do it. No, you don't have to. I don't judge you whether you do or don't. I don't care. But I do think like I am passionate. I used to be really skinny, like really, really skinny. My grandma called me Gumby. Like like I was so scrawny. And now, like, I think it's like I also look at myself and I still think I'm skinny. Like, I think I'm skinny fat, if I'm honest with you. Okay. Like, I look at myself and I'm like, my arms are small and my stomach is not the way I want it to look. And I'm also in wrestling locker rooms comparing myself to those guys. Some of them are juiced up. Some of them are just super fit, like natural. And I'm always like, oh, fuck, I gotta look like that. And then I look at myself and then I hear people. I'm not dumb. Like I listen to people. I know people are like, dude, you work out. Your arms are big. I'm not. I understand that part, but I also look at myself and I'm like, no.
You see the
I
flaws.
don't see. Yeah, all I see is flaws.
Me too. Like you were telling me about the. I posted I lost like a bunch of weight this year, like 45 pounds.
Dude, that transformation's awesome.
See, you say that, and my first thought was, but it's not the six-pack photo.
Yeah, I feel it.
So
yeah.
I'm just
that
seeing,
Kumail
like,
Nanjiani. Like, yeah.
I'm like, when people post a photo, that's what I usually associate with is like seeing the ripped body, and like I can protrude some of that in good lighting.
That's what I tell myself too. Like I took a picture with a trainer, a friend who actually I brought to Superman, Josh. You might have met him. But we like flexed, and I looked at it and I was like, dude, my arm looks huge in that picture. That's crazy lighting. And he was just like, bro, that's you. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I got it.
No, it's not. And then a second later, it went in one ear and out the other. And I was like, back to like, oh, I gotta try harder.
Yeah, it's a weird thing in this, especially in this weird world that we live in. Is there a movie character or a TV show character where you felt like an aspirational goal to like work out more? Like for me, it was, I remember when I was young, this is such a cliche answer, but when I saw Rocky, I did start working. I started doing push-ups because of Rocky. I started running because of Rocky. It got me actually into that. Some people will say like Captain America's body and whatever, and that actually never quite did it. I don't know what it was. It didn't inspire me. It didn't feel attainable or something. Do you have one?
You know what? The one that came to mind was Stephen Amell as Arrow.
Oh, good pick.
I remember thinking about the salmon ladder thing he was doing and being like really impressed with his physique because I never wanted to look like The Rock or Arnold or like a bodybuilder. I love like I think Logan Paul is the perfect build. Like, and what he's doing in WWE is remarkable. But I think his physique is like, if I could have any body, man, I think that guy's got a fucking like But I think Stephen Amell was pretty close to that in 2012-ish when, back when Arrow was pretty early on. And that definitely got me in the gym. That's right about the time I started being interested in fitness too. Like when I was halfway through college, I started working out and getting in the gym like multiple days a week and taking it seriously and learning what the fuck it even was. Yeah, so that was definitely what came to mind. But then you have like movies like Pain and Gain too, but that's not natural. You can't attain that. Like, you can't do that on your own unless it's your job.
So I associate you as a guy, like it's really easy for people to just look at you in the comic book movie world.
Yeah.
What is do you have favorite movies that are not comic book related? Like,
my favorite movie of all time is Interstellar.
Interstellar, really? Why Interstellar?
Man, I'm a fucking baby for like love stories and emotion and family. It's a lot. I think when I see something on screen that I want to feel, that's what I end up, I think, resonating with the most because my family history is kind of rough. Like my mom has had my back. I love my mom to death. My parents went to war in their divorce when I was a kid. And that kind of like at the time when you're a kid, you're like, you really know. But then when you grow up, you're like, wow, that kind of fucked me up a little bit. Yeah. So now looking back, it's like I the moment where he's seeing that he's missing his kid's life and all that, like that whole concept. And it's also just, I'm a sci-fi sucker, but the concepts of family and the way that like he is trying to be there for his kids, he's trying to save the world for them, but at the expense of missing their lives. Like and just also what Nolan does with that movie. It's not a mountain, it's a wave. Like just the visual, like the whole thing. I think Interstellar is just. But any movie that makes me feel something, like Superman, the end of Superman hit me. I won't say anything. I don't know when this is going, but
definitely now after Superman. We'll wait till after Superman.
There's a family element in Superman that really read. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, man, like the Yondu stuff, dude, that hit home because I also kind of see a little like I don't know. It probably sounds pompous or egotistical, and I'm also always afraid to be perceived that way, but. I see a lot of myself in Star-Lord.
Okay.
Like also in my career, dude. It's just a fake it till you make a job for me. If I'm being real, like the Instagram is a highlight reel.
Ironic thing you said, fake it till you make it, if I'm being real.
Yeah, fuck, I really. But like, dude, Instagram looks like it's all a highlight reel. I don't show you when I don't get the junket. I don't show you when the interview goes poor. Well, I do. I guess I don't really edit things out. But like, Star-Lord is a guy who's like constantly trying to tell you, hey, I belong here. And I feel like I identify with that to some extent. And I was also kind of raised by somebody who wasn't my dad. And that moment, but like also wasn't. And that moment where Yondu's like, you know, I might not be your father, but I am your daddy, or whatever the line was. I was like, fuck. So those kind of moves. And Interstellar feels like it has that kind of emotion packed into it. And it's just, I'm a Nolan fan through and through.
So the parental stuff is the one that gets most to your emotional trigger points. What movies are the ones that make you cry the most? Do you have like the scenes that make you cry the most? I mean, I imagine there's stuff in what you just listed, but is there something that like, whenever you see this, for some reason, you cry?
That first scene in Guardians, maybe I just have James Gunn on the brain because I just came from Superman. But that first scene in Guardians hits me with his mom with cancer. You know, in movies, a scene that's guaranteed to make me cry. I mean, there's a few. I can't believe I'm blanking. I haven't slept enough lately. There's a scene in like Friends that gets me every time when Ross gets like stood up for prom in that flashback.
I know what you're talking about. That's my favorite show of all time.
Dude, I was not cool in high school.
Yeah.
And I was kind of Ross. And that scene...
I could kind of see it. Oh, my God. I could actually kind of see it, man.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I'm sorry.
I've got that before. I prefer John Krasinski, but David Schwimmer, yeah.
I prefer John Krasinski. I prefer Jim from The Office, but whatever.
The Office has made me. The end of The Office roughed me up too, man.
The final episode?
Yeah. Oh my God. Anything that sort of becomes like a flashback of people's lives. I wish I had footage of my whole life to watch back, because I think that like seeing my younger self and like getting that perspective of the progression of your life and like the emotion that went into it. Any movie that does that, I'll keep thinking about it because I feel like this is such a non-answer. But
well, listen, I want to touch on that friend scene. Okay, so. For people who don't know, I know exactly what you're talking about. The "You're My Lobster," how it ends is there's this flashback moment where they're watching a videotape where Rachel is supposed to be going to prom and her boyfriend isn't showing up. Ross has always been into her, David Schwimmer, and the parents are like, "You should take her." So he gets all ready, gets the flowers, and then when he's about to finally go take her, he sees she's taking off and he's just left there standing alone. And the whole past couple episodes, Rachel's been rejecting him because of some stupid mistake that he made. And I cry at a different moment. In that same episode, I cry when they kiss. And when she finally goes up to, oh, fuck, it's kidding. I am such, lately I've been such an easy cry.
You're a sucker for the moment where it happens. I'm a sucker for watching it get torn apart.
Yeah, I think I noticed acts of love tend to get to me weirdly. That's why Superman was fucking me up, because there's so much about being kind and acts of love, and that's what really. Sometimes there's like loss in movies that will get to me, but normally it's an act of love. But for you, is it the moment where Ross is standing there by himself?
When he has that moment of like getting left behind. Dude, it's like I feel like people probably will listen to me say this and think it's bullshit or it's ironic because I'm not. It's not numb to me what my career has allowed me to accomplish, but that is like a feeling I've had so many times in my life, professionally and personally, of like I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough for this work opportunity. I'm not good enough for this person. And like seeing it there, and I saw that many years ago too, when like I hadn't gone to therapy and worked on those things. So it's like that. I remember watching that for the first time and just being like, "Fuck, that sucks." Yeah,
that's a pretty honest answer though. I like hearing that. I noticed more men are, or at least maybe it's just from attract. I believe in like attracts like. I believe in that. So I have been. I'm like, oh, are men more emotionally open, or am I just attracting more men into my life who are more emotionally open?
I think it's both. I think we're getting more comfortable. You wouldn't have called me here 5 years ago talking like this. There's no way.
Yeah, probably
not to the internet. And every once in a while, I'll throw a tweet out now that's like pretty authentic. Like, guys, this was a shit week. I'm kind of spent. But I think also authenticity is cool.
Yeah.
Like it's also. I mean, I'd be lying if I said like I want people to know me. And then believe in like what we're doing, and maybe they'll get behind it too when they see that this is really what I'm doing. It's like I don't know. Part of me wants to disappear from social media. Part of me loves having people to talk to on social media, and part of it is like social media is a tool that we have to use to some extent. Yeah, I don't know. But I think the authenticity of the vulnerability era is kind of upon us more than ever.
The vulnerability era is an interesting one because I'm constantly wondering. There's a line between vulnerability and broadcasting your emotions.
Yeah,
that is hard to find.
It's very true.
Like I'll find too that I've been much more open on camera, and John and I have been shooting a very different podcast that we haven't aired, and we had a confrontation that we had to do, and I was like, oh, this would be good to do on camera. And then I was like, no, wait, if I'm then I'm broadcasting.
But that's like I said, like we look at it. When you're doing this job or any version of this job, you're looking at everything, whether you mean to or not, through a lens of, well, is it content?
Yeah.
And then sometimes you got to be like, no, take the lenses off. It is life. It doesn't have to be content.
Because sometimes the confrontation on camera is easier than when there's no camera.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because then that's real vulnerability.
Yeah.
Where you just have to be with yourselves. It can be more uncomfortable. Because then you kind of have a safety net of an audience or something and a bit of a presentation. But when you're by yourself, it's like it's hard or something a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Which is strange time. You talk about your mom a lot. That's what one thing I've noticed in our conversations is you bring her up, and I haven't really inquired about her. And you mentioned the divorce. Are you much more distant from your dad than your mom?
I haven't talked to him in a while. I actually thought about doing the. This is terrible. Okay. Everything's content. Have you seen the trend where it's like bros call their bros to say goodnight?
No.
Oh, well, there's like this Twitter or a TikTok, Instagram reel trend where somebody will film a guy and he gets on the phone with his friend who's a guy, and they just call like, "What's up, bro? Not much. I'm just calling to say goodnight." And you just record like what they say on speakerphone just to like get the funny reaction. And I was like, man, what if I called my dad just to say goodnight? I mean, I genuinely haven't talked to him in, I couldn't tell you when the last time was. Some amount of years, not like a decade, but I don't know. We're just not close.
Is there traits that you've gotten from your dad that what traits from your dad do you appreciate, and are there traits you're trying to undo?
I'm tall. I appreciate that. He's tall. I mean, yeah, definitely. I think early on in my life, I think that it just like there was an avoidancy to me. I would just bullshit people to avoid a problem, and that causes a problem later. And I'm glad I worked that shit out. And that's definitely, I mean, he was worse than that. There was a lot of lessons of like what not to do too. And I got that from both my parents too. And I got lessons on what to do in some instances. I think it's interesting when you grow up and you're like, well, you think your parents are these people who have it all figured out and they have these choices that are all calculated. Then you're like, they were just doing it for the first time too. They're figuring it out as they go. Yeah. When you grow up and you get that perspective.
That is kind of the cycle I'm noticing, especially in the therapy world we live in now. The introspection is we grow up, then we reach an age, we realize we're messed up, we blame our parents, and then eventually we're like, oh, but they're human too.
Yeah, exactly.
And now that's where I'm at now. It's like, oh yeah, I definitely blame my parents for too long, and of course there's still stuff I'm constantly undoing from both of my parents. But yeah, I totally know what you're talking about. Is there a person or is there a character from a movie, to give me an image, or a show that reminds you of your dad the most?
Oh, reminds me of John Locke's dad in Lost.
Oh, I can't quite. What specifically about that? Is it a physicalism or an actual relationship?
I feel like I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm like shit talking my dad here. I don't know, maybe he's watching. I don't fucking know. I see a lot of myself in John Locke. That's my favorite character in anything.
Okay.
Ever. And I see a lot of myself in a lot of the characters in Lost, I think, and that's what I like about the show is all those characters have flaws, and then those end up being the things I identify with those characters. But John Locke is like this hopeless but hopeful guy who gives people so many chances. And when I was younger, I did that a lot. I've done that when I'm older too, but especially when I was a kid and I didn't know any better, I'd give people a lot of chances, and he gives his dad a lot of chances. And this is not what happened in my life, but this is what happened in Lost, and I can draw the comparisons based on like what I know happened while my parents were going through all their legal shit and all that. Like John gives his dad another chance. His dad shows up as like the hero. Like, John, I'm going to do all this for you. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to go fishing. We're going to have a relationship. and then you find out his dad conned him just because he needed a kidney, and then throws him out a window because John won't let it go. He's like, Dad, you couldn't possibly do this to me. And his dad literally throws him out of a skyscraper building. Spoiler alert, that's how John Locke ends up in the wheelchair that he's in when the plane crashes. And that's not at all what happened in my life,
Sure.
but it is I can make the metaphor for like things I've experienced for that, where it's like, hey, I'm going to give you another chance, but you fucked me over again. I'm going to give you another chance. You fucking used me to do this other thing. So, and then that results in the shit I talk, like I became an avoidant person where I would just do anything to avoid a problem, but then that creates a problem later. So it's like, I don't know, you grow up, you learn, you'll see what other mistakes other people made, and then you see mistakes you've made as a result, and you just got to learn from all that.
Is John Locke the character you would say you identify the most with?
Yeah, I think so. Sad, and I don't like that either because I think he's a sad character, and I think I'm often a sad person, to be honest. Like I have trouble with a lot of shit. Like I think I wrestle with depression. It's undiagnosed. I've never seen somebody for it, but I see so much of myself in that character and how he wants to do great things and matter. He just wants to fucking matter. And life just shits on him. And I feel like this is so silly coming from me because like I lived the life of a fucking contest winner for the most part. I know that. Warner Brothers has me here for Superman. People would pay $100,000 for the weekend I had here this week working. But I go into that interview and I'm like, I want to have the best fucking interview. I wanted to and it's never going to be good enough for me. It's never going to be good enough for me. It could get the most views of everyone at the junket. Every comment could be like, this was great. The one that says, fuck this guy, is going to be the one that sticks with me. And then, I don't know. I think that, like John, when he crashed on that island, I'm waiting for my crash on the island, basically. Because that's when his life flipped upside down and he found meaning on that island. He could walk again, of course. But he just wants to earn people's respect, just like really. He's not Lex Luthor trying to take people's respect, demand it. He's like a guy who wants to do it right. And couldn't before, and now like when the island happens, he finds himself and still has a fucking tragic ending. I hate the way that character story ends, but I think that's the character I identify with the most. I wanted to be Tony Stark. I was John Locke. Or I am John Locke.
Well, I mean, if it's any like the character when I was growing up, just I want to make it. I don't want you to feel alone here. When I was growing
Tell me, please.
Growing up, the character for sure I identify with the most with on a lighter side was Chandler from Friends, using humor to block. But the first drama character that I ever identified with was actually Dexter from the show Dexter.
Wow, why?
The first episode.
How many people did? No, but why? Why Dexter? That's such an interesting pick.
It was the first episode. When I was young, I had never heard someone say this. It was just an adjective I had applied to myself, which is I feel empty. And that was the first character I heard say that, I feel empty. And I mean, sure, there's like the caveats of like, but this is a serial killer, like all that shit. But I really clicked with that. And that's when I felt weirdly seen and I was like, oh, this must be why a lot of people probably love this character, because they see the humanity in him. And the irony of like, oh, I want to do acting, I want to do these things, and that's kind of why I'm obsessed with what I do. Like when I was young, I remember there was this we only had cable for 1 month, and there was this channel that I don't know if it still exists. It was called the Monster Channel. They would run 24 hours a day, uncensored horror movies. And when I was like 12 years old, I'd watch it, but I had this thing in me that was saying, "Be a man, don't look away, don't react, don't just watch." And it was hard, and now when I see what I do for a living now, it's like so counterproductive. It's such the opposite, because when I in my early 20s, around a little before my dad died, I started going, I want to be able to understand my feelings and show and express them, and so that's like a really big why in my life. I think it's not just show my feelings, but help encourage people to feel their feelings too. So like having a conversation like this is a really big one. So I'm fascinated by what you're saying right now.
Yeah, I think this is awesome, and that's so interesting that you see that through a character like that. And I mean, yeah, That's great. I did not expect Dexter to be the guy like in the limited time we finally became friends. I did not expect Dexter to be the guy.
I don't think anyone expects John Locke from you.
Dude, I have my first tattoo. I have 7 tattoos now. The first tattoo I ever got is right here on my ribs. It says, "Don't ever tell me what I can't do." And not just because I want to accomplish things. I don't like feeling limited. It's because in that scene I have felt that so many times, professionally and personally. It's him in a wheelchair trying to go on this walkabout in Sydney, and he's flown to Australia, and the tour guide tells him, "You can't come on this walkabout." And he's just like, "I've been planning for this for years. Just put me on the bus. I can do this." "No, you can't. Don't ever tell me what I can't do." And he doesn't get on the bus, and that sends him to the island where he finds his meaning. But it's interesting because then at the same time you have Jack Shepherd, who's the other main character who endlessly wants to fix things. I feel a lot of that in my life too. I just Lost is we could do an hour about why I love Lost and the characters of Lost. Yeah.
So the impression, were you bullied in school? I'm not sure. I'm trying to understand the impression you're telling me about your time in school.
I wasn't the cool kid. I mean, like, I also went to high school in a town. I was from Howell, New Jersey.
Okay.
Very, okay, normal town. I went to high school in Colts Neck, New Jersey.
Okay.
Colts Neck is the richest town in New Jersey. Kids from Howell are not rich. We're not, well, there was times where we didn't pay the electric bill, but I got an Xbox for Christmas, so it's a little bit of, but Colts Neck, the kids are driving cars nicer than the teachers. And, if you're the one kid who's a senior who's still riding the bus, you're a fucking loser. And I was made to feel that because I didn't have a car in high school. Like, we couldn't afford it. We couldn't do it. So it was like, and it's also, as a kid, you're making it more than it even is, I think. But that's the sort of stuff that stuck with me, dude. I drive I got the car that Tony Stark drives in Avengers Endgame. So, like, what kind of complex did that put in me? It just explains itself. So it's a lease. I didn't buy it, but I can't afford to buy that thing. But it's like, it kind of like, I have these moments where it's like, bro, this is like, I love the car, but sometimes I have these reality check moments where it's like, bro, you're paying $700 a month on this lease for what? Like, who are you trying to prove to now? And it's a comfortable car though. So I don't know. It's like those sort of things I'm at the age now where I'm starting to think about stuff that way. Tony Stark influenced me like that, I guess. And so that just ties right back to being in high school.
I notice sometimes when you're talking about, when you're like revealing how you're feeling or thinking, you're kind of putting this diffusing of some other thing that someone else might say about, like, no, but I know I got this life. I got this life. Is that influenced by social media interaction, or is that how you've always thought? Where you feel like you have to explain this thing.
I just feel like I am very lucky to do what I do for a living. It's not lost on me, and I think that.
But do you feel like you're not allowed to be depressed though?
I think people wouldn't want to hear from me that I'm not happy.
Why is that?
Because they'd be like, bro, I work at fucking Starbucks. How are you not happy? I've worked at Starbucks. I know it sucks.
I know.
Some people love working there. I hated it.
My demeanor might seem like I don't know what you're talking about. I 100% know what you're talking about.
It's.
But it seems like there's this line where, yes, where people will say that, but then you get a Robin Williams situation. Where,
dude, we don't need to get that. I'm an open book, to be honest with you, but I've had my scares of that kind of shit, and I'm nowhere near that. I'm honestly not just saying that. I'm good, but I've had my moments where I've been like pretty close to feeling shit. Okay, I don't want to do this anymore.
Take the exit ramp.
Yeah. But I have some really good friends, and therapy. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
I mean, I don't want to talk about it too often, but yeah, I've been in the psych ward for like the 72-hour holds and stuff, and it didn't hit me until it was weird. It was running. The channel was actually already at like 300,000 subs, so it was like from the outside, people, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
But then I did harm myself, and when I was back in the hospital. I never like revealed at the time. And when I was back in the hospital, it hit me on the cheesiest thought, which is, oh, but if I die, I won't be able to see everyone's reaction.
So are you saying if something happens to you, you want reaction videos? That's where we are.
That's the cry for help, though, that I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't really want to die, but I don't quite know how to just say I need help.
Oh, this is real. This is trigger warning. I guess if this is a heavy topic. I never deleted it just because I've never deleted a draft. I literally have a note drafted in Twitter that I wrote when I was like, this is it. I'm out. And I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy and I wrote it on my phone. And then I obviously never published it, but I was like, I'm going to publish this or schedule it and I'm out. But I'm really fucking glad I didn't do that. And I maybe us talking about this and people hearing this will be like, oh, it is maybe it helps somebody.
Yeah.
Because I have some really good friends who have helped me and they didn't even know. Like they to this day don't even know some of the ways they've helped me. Yeah, it's interesting to come out of that and be like, okay, there's a lot here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff still. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the thing with our society, right? Is that all the emphasis is put on like success financially, career wise, and if you're doing well there, then you have no reason to be sad or something like that. Because that's where we often, I think we do a transference of our depression and sadness onto jobs and career. Like, of course, it can be an effect. It can be a circumstantial effect. But there are people who do work at a McDonald's or a Starbucks who are happy. There are people
Absolutely.
There are people who are not driven by needing the validation like we do and people who are driven like us often are stuck in the rat race of it's never enough. It's never
that light at the end of the tunnel is always going to stay exactly as far away as it is right now.
What is success? Do you have a definition of success?
I mean, it used to be money and subscribers and all that stuff, and now it's changed. Like I just want to be. I've definitely shifted into more. I want to be happy outside of work. I want to be less time on my phone. I think I'm a few years away from getting off the internet entirely, just for peace of mind, because I don't think it's a healthy place to be. And people yell at me all the time, and it's like I shouldn't care. But that was 100 characters in that tweet I just read about somebody who I've never met and doesn't actually know a thing about me. Like, yeah, fucking, like, why does that get? I don't know. But for me, I want to like find a person, get a nice place to live, feel like you have a person in your life who is a teammate. Every problem, it's not you versus each other, it's you versus the problem. And then, have financial stability, have experiences, I love the reason I do this really more than even getting to talk to David Cornsweet, it's to travel to LA and see my friends. Yeah. To go to Star Wars Celebration in Tokyo with my friends. I like the traveling and the people in the industry, like on our side of the industry. It's awesome to talk to David Cornsweet. It's awesome to be in the same room as Hayden Christensen. But like for me, it's like seeing you, Kevin McCarthy, Jake Hamilton, Chris Van Vliet, Ash Crossan, Maude Garrett, Perry Nemiroff, like Joe Deckelmeyer. There's so many awesome there's so many awesome people in this industry that I love spending time with. I have way more friends when I show up to an event for work than when I'm at home. So I want to have that sort of like security, financial security, friends, a person that we handle life with, and to me that's wealth and that's success. Is and you're comfortable like with where you are. You don't feel like I think for the rest of my life I'm gonna have a motor that I need to accomplish things, but I would like to be able to take the foot off the gas a little bit and put some of that gas into like life outside of it, which wrestling has kind of scratched that itch for me.
It sounds like you're valuing connection more than anything else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do. I love people.
We talked about this a little bit at Marshall's party. Like I've read like communication books, listened to audio, so I'm pretty good at communicating and knowing how to socialize at events. But it's definitely like game on for me. And it seems like for you, you're a little bit more natural. You don't really get social anxiety.
No, unless it's like a situation where I think somebody doesn't want me in a room. That really gets to me, and I try to avoid that and make it. I'm like, you know what? Okay, the room's yours. Unless it's someone I really have a problem with. Then fuck you, I'm taking the room. But I'm very much not that. I can't think of an instance where I've done that in our space. Yeah. Like I don't remember what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Something about social anxiety.
Oh yeah. No, I mean I don't like. I'll show up to Marshall's, and my biggest social anxiety is saying nice to meet you if I've met you before. I fucking hate hurting somebody's feelings if I've done that, and I do it sometimes, and I'm guilty of it, and I hate being that person. And people will call you on it too. It's like, I deserve that. Yeah, we've met, but you go to these events and you meet so many people, and I'm bad with remembering like names to faces sometimes. I need to see people a couple times or follow them on social media so I can register. And every once in a while I'll do that. And that's the worst thing I could have done today. The worst person. It's from...
Are you an only child?
I have an older sister. She's in Texas.
Are you not close with her?
We talk. I wouldn't say we're like super close, but we're cool. She's cool. Yeah,
But you stick with your mom. To give me a visual of your mom, what is there? A lot of these questions are going to sound similar, but it helps me out. Movie or TV show character or dynamic that reminds you of your mom.
Oh man, that's a good movie character. That's like my mom. There's a movie called what's that? Seth Rogen and Barbara Streisand movie.
I never saw that, but I know what you're talking about.
I think it's called Road Trip. That kind of reminded me of my mom because my mom will just go do whatever with me if I suggest it, and she literally can do it. She will. And that movie's funny how they have this dynamic where she's super comfortable talking about stuff, and Seth Rogen's like, she says something. I think they're talking about like STDs or something in this movie, and she's like, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" And Seth Rogen goes, "My penis could literally grow an eyeball, and I wouldn't tell you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I feel that way." But my mom would talk about anything with me, but there's just shit that I'm not gonna bring up to you. That one came to mind. Also, probably because we watched that movie together, so that is a memory I have with her. I'm bad. I'm shitty at answering these questions.
No, you said a memory with her. What did you watch with? Well, first, when did your parents split? How old were you? 10,
11, I think. Like elementary school, 4th grade.
Okay, so before that, would you guys watch any shows or movies together?
I watched Lost with my mom.
Okay.
Most of Lost with my mom. It was like Wednesday nights. It was like that, and then we'd go right into Grey's Anatomy afterwards. Mostly just good American Idol and stuff like that. Watched a lot of TV with her, and then we'd go to the movies. There was a this is like, wow, these are like unlocking memories. I don't even. There were in Hamilton, New Jersey. There was a movie theater that we would go to pretty often, and we'd watch whatever was out. We would just go to the movies often for the most part.
That was like an actual bonding experience. Like, would you guys do the whole thing, like popcorn, drinks, the whole thing?
Oh yeah. I mean, we would probably smuggle candy in because like we weren't paying movie prices for some of that stuff, but also we get popcorn and all that. We were also big like Six Flags people.
Oh really?
Yeah. So Six Flags Great Adventure season pass, we put miles on that thing.
Your mom sounds like the shit.
Oh, my mom's great, dude.
She sounds like actually really cool,
dude. My mom, she would go to war for me, and she's also just. Like she's been treated for breast cancer twice, gone through chemo twice. She's had heart surgery.
Wow.
Like she has had health issues that people just like, one will take them out. And she's just overcome so much stuff. And still to this day, I will drive up to OVW for a wrestling match with her and my friends in the car, and she will talk more than anyone just because she's having a good time and she hates that I wrestle, and she'll still be like just having and then she texts me the next day after that. Brandon, I had so much fun yesterday with your friends. Thank you so much for bringing me. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet.
She's got an unbelievably good energy. If I was going through the shit my mom has gone through, I'd be fucking miserable. But I'm sure maybe she has her mask like I wear too sometimes. I know my mom. I'm sure we've talked about stuff that she's not happy all the time, like I just pitched her to be, but she is a good energy all the fucking time for everyone when she can be.
She sounds like a good like foundational parent to have, like a good rock.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I know I could anything could happen. I'd call my mom. She's gonna help.
And she lives with you now too, right?
Except money. Sorry, Mom. I'm on my own with that. But yeah, no, she's been living in my house in my spare room for 2 years this month. She moved in after she had heart surgery, and it was like, hey, let's get you back on your feet, save you some money. She's healthy. That's all that matters.
She sounds like a super sweetheart. You bring her up so often that I was like, this guy has clearly a good relationship with his mom. And never mentions his dad, so he must have a bad relationship with his dad.
Yeah, no, my mom is a sweetheart, dude. I would go to war for her if I ever had to. I don't think she'd ever create a situation where I would have to, but I would if she did, or if she was in one.
You said 33 and single. But you also mentioned at the beginning of our talk that like love stories really get to you.
Yeah.
What are some of these love stories you're talking about? Like romantic movies, romantic comedies, or shows?
I love Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I'm a sucker for just like No Time to Die hit me because he finally fell in love and then he died. It's like, what are some of the best love stories, man? Austin Powers. That's not a love story. God,
Just your personal ones, yeah.
I mean, Love Actually is great because, I mean, Andrew Lincoln's kind of a creep in that movie, but it's like I've also been the person who's like, you know, you really like somebody you can't have. I would never show up to their door when they're getting married with no cards to my best friend's girl. But, you know, that's a good romantic film that I really enjoy. God, I'm just shitting the bed on these questions. I'm blanking on
You're
all these
actually
answers.
not. Your self-talk is really interesting coming out. Like hearing your self-talk is really interesting because you definitely come down harder on yourself than it's actually happening.
Like, I just know I'm going to leave here and I'm going to be like, oh, there's this obvious character who reminds me of my mom. There's this obvious rom-com I love that I didn't name.
It's not like I send you pre-planned questions in advance, so there's no reason for.
I would have been reading them in the Uber over here. That's how I live my life now. Like I thought I was flying out of LAX today. I'm going out of Burbank. I thought I was coming up here, going back to LAX, but I'm like, oh shit, that saves me an hour.
Oh really?
Let's go. Yeah, I looked at it this morning. What airport am I flying out of today? I'm doing it. That's part of the problem with doing it all myself now. Like I'm making less money. And I'm doing way more work, but you know, it's getting done one day at a time.
How are you feeling about having to keep up the optics of how things are going in your life? Because I see that you're doing the interview, so everything looks like it's back to normal for you, and you're doing wonderful. But then it seems like you're actually not.
Instagram is LinkedIn to me. It really I post authentically as I can, but it's also I know every publicist is looking at this. I know marketing teams, people who might pay me for a brand deal are looking at this. Instagram is the new LinkedIn, in my opinion, in this industry. I don't use LinkedIn. I haven't used LinkedIn since they made me make one when I was in college. But I think, optics are, on social media, it's really important to me. I'm not afraid to admit it. It's every once in a while I'll throw a story up. It's like, I'm having a shit time right now. But for the most part, I got a lot of good stuff to post that I'm very lucky to. It's not back to normal. Like there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work out. I'm insanely ahead of the curve and lucky for the junkets I'm getting, the interviews I'm getting. But I get told no a lot. Like it's also I think if I come out and say, well, this studio told me no, or this actor told me no, then the studios take that shit to heart. Like you can't say that for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's like I'm not saying something bad about you. You just didn't give me this junket. I told people, hey, I wanted to do interviews. They told me no. That's not negative towards your movie, in my opinion. But now it's like I would rather just some things. It's just like, okay, well, I guess there's some things I can't share because somebody might get mad at me for it. But yeah, sometimes I get told no. A lot of times I get told no for interviews and stuff.
Well, I lumped you into the comic book movie world, of course, because of comicbook.com. And are you still into like comic books at all in the way how you once were?
Most of the time now when I read comics, it's to prepare for something that's coming out.
I understand.
I also I struggle to sit still and read because my mind is always going like, I need to be productive right now. I need to be doing something. I need to be fidgeting with something, or even just playing a video game, which I allow myself to do like maybe, I don't know, a few minutes a day at this point, if that. I used to play a lot more Fortnite and Rocket League when I had a steady salary. Now, not really. But I really enjoy comics. I genuinely struggle to sit still and flip pages. I love going to the comic book store. Like I love looking at the covers and looking at the art and seeing the moments and seeing the characters and everything. And I just now I read All-Star Superman. I've read it before, but I read it on the plane here. I left it on the plane like an idiot. But it's like I reread the book before I watched Superman. So for the most part now, my comic reading is, I'll get home this week and I'm gonna start reading Fantastic Four books again. And then after that, I'll probably go read some Wonder Man stuff or, whatever's in the pipeline. And every once in a while, I'll pick up a book that's new. But it's been a while since I've picked up a new book and just went to town just to read it.
I understand the feeling.
Yeah.
It's weird. Even with like ones with visuals, I have the same struggle where I'm like, oh shit, I just like read 3 pages and I have no idea what.
And I was thinking about everything something else, dude.
Yeah.
Do you read books? Do you read comics now?
Yeah, I actually read. I use the apps though, like Marvel Unlimited and the DC Infinite. Yeah. Oh my god, it's like. I think when I'm looking at the actual book now, it's like there's so much imagery that it helps me focus on what to look at and how to pay it. Like the isolation of it actually helps my brain out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I read a lot of comics, especially leading into Superman. And what we're talking about with social media, I texted Coy this a couple hours after we saw Superman, it's the first time I've seen a movie where it made me contemplate leaving social media, leaving Twitter specifically, because I found myself so much of the time in the movie when I was laughing or having fun, I would immediately think, oh, people online are going to hate this. Oh, people online are going to, and it started interrupting my enjoyment process. And then I immediately was like, when the movie was done, I was like, oh, I don't want to talk to him because I don't want anyone like reviewing the movie to my face and telling me what they didn't like to sound smart or whatever. And then it's like Twitter especially is something that will be like so mean and ruin the thing that really gave me an emotional experience. Do you find you have similar struggles with the enjoyment at all with movies and stuff because of how social media has done this?
Dude, that's those goggles that is that lens. Absolutely. I mean, I drafted a tweet this morning that I didn't send because I was like, well, I don't want somebody at like WB to think I'm complaining about Superman or something or implying a reaction before I'm allowed to. But it was like, can't wait for Superman discourse. If I love it, I'm a James Gunn shill. If I hate it, I'm a Marvel shill. If I'm somewhere in between, I probably should die anyway. And it's like, that's just what. But the thing is, the majority of responses aren't that. But it's impossible not to think of what the perception of your perception. I don't know why. We're just people, I guess. I don't know. Maybe our brains were not meant for social media. No. I wake up in the morning, and if I open Twitter, I see a plane fall out of the sky, somebody gets shot, and then there's like a naked person. All in the first 5 seconds, my eyes have been open. Like, what?
Now go about your day.
Yeah, now go have coffee. Like, you know what I mean? I open Instagram, it's much more peaceful. It's more curated to things I want to see. Twitter has gone. I would leave Twitter if I didn't need Twitter. It's like I have 340,000 followers on Twitter. I generate probably 8 to 15 million impressions a month, and that is an asset to get me these interviews, to make myself appealing. And also the studios care less about Twitter than ever before. So like it's losing its draw. It's losing its value to me too. And that sucks. Like Twitter used to be fun. Yeah. I remember like during COVID, Twitter was a lot of fun, man. Yeah. To go and watch movies with people and stuff.
It's a very obvious moment in time when someone took over that the whole environment on Twitter totally changed.
Such a cesspool. Yeah. It is such a cesspool. There's still a lot of positivity, but it's so easy for the negativity to take over.
This is what I'm finding more often is like we're people in a field where we give our opinions, and it's always easy for people to be like, you shouldn't listen to negative comments. You shouldn't listen to haters. Like my wife, Olivia, she's incredible at being unaffected by other people's opinions. It's phenomenal.
But it also determines our opportunities sometimes.
It can, yeah. Yeah. But same time, it's like I haven't really met too many people actually in this arena who are not affected. It's actually hard for me to. I don't know anybody who isn't actually affected, and yet we're expected to be like thick-skinned about everything. But then that can affect your ability to be honest with your emotions when you're blocking how you feel to be thick-skinned, and it's this weird process that people expect out of you. Yep. Like I've noticed how the rise tends to be like this. You start doing videos or whatever, you start getting popular, you start getting attention, and then you start getting hate, and then that starts influencing how you present yourself on camera and how you talk about things. And then people start criticizing you for how you're doing that then because of that. And,
I don't know who people want movie reactions from at this point. If you do an interview, they don't want to hear it from you. Yeah. If you travel to watch the movie and the studio pays for it, they don't want to hear it from you. If you got paid to go to the movie, they don't want to hear it from you. If you did literally anything other than fucking watch the movie on your own, and even then it's probably a problem, because then you're not even valid enough for your opinion to count, I guess. Like I'm just imagining what they'd say. And I could understand, like, obviously you get paid by the studio to have an opinion, that's one thing, or to promote a movie, that's one thing. I've never been paid to have an opinion ever. I've got paid by studios to promote things. Like I did and then I actually, when I was still working at the site, I said, hey, Max wants me to promote the Suicide Squad. I think it was the Suicide Squad. I don't think I should write reviews anymore. Is that okay? Yeah. I never wrote another review. I never wrote another movie review. At least I don't think so. And it's not. I'm on Rotten Tomatoes. Actually, somebody tried to do a gotcha on me today because I said I'm not a critic. I don't know what you expect from me. I like to like stuff, and if I don't like it, I say it, and then I move on. And then somebody saw that and fucking screenshotted my Rotten Tomatoes profile, which has been inactive since 2021. Wow. And I was like, what do you?
Yeah.
Why am I arguing with you?
Yeah.
Why do I care what this person says?
But that's why I liked in Superman when I thought it was one of the most relatable things when he is saying, I don't read that stuff online. And then you actually see, no, he actually does read this stuff online, and he actually does get affected.
I've had days ruined over shit people say about me online. Like,
Me too.
I'll read it Sunday morning, and Sunday's done.
Yeah.
I'm done for the day.
It's weird because
I hate to admit it, because then the fuckers who are listening to this are probably like, ha ha ha, it's working. We can do it again. I'll ruin his fucking Tuesday too.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a weird thing because I get it. There's like a lot of positive comments that will come in, but whenever I read the negative, it's I feel like, man, after all this time, it's still even if it's like the same shit I've heard for the whole time I've been doing this, it somehow still does do a weird number on me where I have to like go through a whole process to not be affected by it or like to be fine again for the day. Yeah. I know what you mean. It's a hard time.
Every once in a while, though, I'll be like, that was a pretty good one, though.
Really?
You little shit. That was a...
I mean, you're in the wrestling world. You're in the wrestling world. You do a lot of the wrestling stuff. I know you seem to light up so much when you talk about wrestling. Were you into wrestling your whole life as a kid? You watched it and everything?
I grew up in the Attitude Era. My mom hated it.
Wow, the Attitude Era, big time, man.
The Rock, Austin. It's crazy now. Al Snow is there, and now I wrestle for Al Snow at OVW. Like, he's a friend. I could text him right now. It's insane. Well, he probably wouldn't say we're friends. He claims to not like anybody who wrestles there because he does what's best for business all the time. But, dude, I just grew up a huge wrestling fan. My mom would ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'd say a wrestler. You can't be a wrestler. What else you want to be? A wrestler. That was all I wanted to do.
You wanted that more than the movie stuff.
Oh, movie stuff didn't come up until high school, college. And even that, like when I stopped watching WWE in high school, as a lot of people do. You grow up, you were like, oh, it's fake. I'm not watching it. And then I got back into it 5-6 years ago, watching it again. It got good again. Roman Reigns and all the stuff they've been doing has been really, the storylines they've had since Vince McMahon left WWE especially have been pretty fantastic. And finally, in 2023, I had a friend who was like, dude, you can, Connor Casey, who used to work at Comic Book with me, was like, dude, I train wrestling out in Hendersonville. It's like 30 minutes outside Nashville. He's like, you want to come train? Like, try wrestling? And I was like, yeah, sure, okay. And I walked in and he's like, there's probably me a bunch of egos in here, macho guys, whatever. And it's like, bro, you walk in, hey man, it's like people in movies will, this will be such news to them. People in wrestling, it's like that's such a known thing. And I learned this because I watched YouTube videos about wrestling experiences before I started booking matches. When you walk into a wrestling event, it is like protocol, unspoken protocol to shake every single person in the room's hand. It's a carny business, but it's a respect business. And if people don't like you in wrestling, you're not going to get booked. If you're not respectful to people in wrestling, you're not going to get booked. You could be the best wrestler. If you're a dick and you cause problems in the locker room, you're not going to get booked. Obviously, there will be exceptions to that, but it is like a shockingly to me, based on not knowing that before I started, inclusive and welcoming environment that it doesn't get credit for. And of course, there are exceptions to that, as in any environment. But for the most part, dude, it is like we all challenge each other, and you're only as good as the guy across from you. Like, I'm only as good as you make me look. And that's like, you're only as good as I make you look. We're in this together, pal. Even if we don't like each other, I haven't even wrestled anybody that I would say I don't like you. I'll say it on a microphone if we're on TV. Fucking hate everybody here. But backstage, dude, I vibe with those guys, man. It's cool. And girls.
I mean, that's the performance sport of it. Like they say that with actors, it's your scene partner.
It's what it is. It's really what it is. It's a dramatized stunt show where it's a fucking thrill. Yeah,
dramatized stunt show. Oh my God, that's the perfect encap. Again, Olivia, she grew up on wrestling. She's obsessed with wrestling. I did not. But when we took a trip to New York, I ended up watching the whole Vince McMahon documentary.
That guy's...
But it taught me so much about wrestling, and the part I did not expect. I wanted to watch the evil of Vince McMahon, but then I found myself going, oh, I get why wrestling's so popular. I get it now.
It's like, and as a fan in the crowd, you're in on it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you're getting worked, but you're also it's like going to medieval times.
Yeah,
like you're in on it with them. You're cheering for the good guy. You're booing the bad guy, and they still find ways to surprise you.
Yeah.
And whether you're caring about whether it's part of the script or whether you're invested in Seth Rollins, the wrestler, or Colby, the human being. You care about both sometimes too. Like that's what the thrill of it is for, I think, for fans. And then you get to see some fun. Like this dude, Braun Breaker, just speared Penta out of the air the other day, and it went viral because the lady in the front row could not believe what she saw. And when you go wrestle, I'm not in WWE, but we wrestle in Louisville. There's kids in the crowd who you're a fucking superhero to that kid. Like they get to go home and be like, I want to be a wrestler. I want to like it's I don't know. It is the most fulfilling and challenging thing I've ever done.
What's your favorite wrestling movie or wrestling related movie?
You know what's a good movie? Fighting with My Family.
Oh, that's a good one.
Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty decent look at
That's like
the
produced by
wrestling world, too.
WWE.
Yeah, The
isn't it?
Rock is in it in a small role. It's a pretty decent look at what trying to come up in wrestling. I mean, The Wrestler is pretty damn good movie.
What'd you think about Iron Claw?
Oh, fuck, that movie's heavy, man. But that's what wrestling used to be like. It's much safer now than it was when those guys were doing it, when the Von Erichs were doing it. But that is what it was like. And part of me wishes I started wrestling 15 years ago when I was 20. But
It is weird to start at your 30s. Yeah.
Even better, we started in our 30s. Yeah. But it was less safe. Even 13 years ago, it was less safe.
Yeah.
There's banned moves now. Like somebody asked me to take this move called an Alabama Slam once, which 13 years ago, I probably like, let's go. It's a move where they hold you by your ankles. You're hanging that way. Your head is like to the back of their calf, and they flip forward and they launch you, and you go catapult onto your back.
Ouch.
And inevitably, you're gonna smack your head because you're falling this way. You're getting launched. You're not just falling, you're getting thrown. And I was like, brother, I'm not fucking taking an Alabama Slam. No. And I think the guy thought I was new, thought I would just take this move and he would look cool. I was like, no. It's also what people are cool when you say no.
Yeah.
I've never had somebody get mad at me for saying no, to not want to do something because I don't think it was safe. It hurts, but it's safe.
So what we started talking about very beginning with body dysmorphia, you're shirtless when you're wrestling.
Yeah.
Is it difficult do you find an insecurity when you're shirtless wrestling?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Interest. Is that common
I
in
wrestled
wrestling?
with a shirt on this entire year until 2 weeks ago. Because I got new gear, and the gear I had designed, I wanted a tank top so I could keep the shirt on, and then a vest over the tank top. And the person who made my gear only made the vest, which is it would just get ruined if I wrestle in it. So I had to take it off. And I watched a video of myself the other day trying to learn a move called a lion saw. You take a couple steps, you jump on the middle rope, you do a backflip. And I looked at myself in the video, I was like, fuck, I look like shit. And then my friends were like, no, you look fine. But in the wrestling world, I know by comparison to what I'm supposed to look like, I'm not there. I'm definitely not there. And that annoys the shit out of me.
Was body dysmorphia when you were a kid too?
I think it was accurate. I don't think it was dysmorphia. I think I was skinny as hell, and I got made fun of for being skinny.
I had the opposite. I was like overweight.
And so it's such an interesting thing because I imagine it's a similar experience, but just the different sides of the same coin, where people are making fun of you. I would imagine being overweight gets it worse than being skinny.
Well, I've been thinking a lot about this weirdly is when I meet people who struggle to gain weight, there's often if I'm hearing that, I used to say it too, of like, oh, well, good for you. Like easy problem. Like, I wish I had that problem.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh, this must be such an isolating problem for people with this struggle. Like, of course I would prefer that rather than lose, but they don't know what it's like to have the opposite end. And so they're often left to feel alone because people are usually responding to them with like, that's not a real problem, when it is a problem.
Yeah. I mean, I was in high school. I'm 6'3", like 215 right now.
Okay.
I was like 165, like 170. Same sense, still 6'3". So I was like 40% less weight, I guess. But I mean, I still think, when you're, like you said, when you're skinny, you maybe don't get taken seriously. When you're like, I wish I could gain weight. I also didn't even realize I wish I could gain weight. I was just like, why are you guys being dicks? Like, I didn't even think I looked bad or stupid. I wished I could. Like, I still to this day, I can't get, no matter how much chest I do, I cannot grow these boobies, dude. I can't get the pecs popping.
You're going to have the Tom Cruise problem.
Dude, I am. And somebody called me a bird chest in college, and nobody's ever said it to me again, but that's still what I think of. I have a fucking bird chest. It's just, I have this flat. I cannot, I can bench like probably 285.
Wow.
You wouldn't guess.
Is that coming from chest strength or arm strength?
That's chest and arm. Like I, probably,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's probably my try. I have not missed an arm day, not a single week in like 10 years. So it's probably a lot of arms. I've missed a couple chest days, but I really chest and arms are the two things I've hit the most more than anything else.
Just to try to get, those are my favorite to work out.
Yeah,
I mean,
hate
the
leg
glamour
day, bro.
muscles. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking hate leg day, bro.
Yeah, no, I skipped it today. But I'm like, I'll do it
I
tomorrow.
like shoulder day too. It's just got to be from the waist up. I'm happy.
Yeah.
People are like, we signed up for movies. This is the thing. I think this is the part where people stopped watching. They're
What?
like, I don't want to hear about fucking fitness.
I mean, I feel like I want to try something a little bit different today.
No, I
'Cause
know. I'm just messing.
We're like internet people, and I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
we're known for
yeah.
the movie stuff, and I think it's cool to like show
I
this
love
different side.
getting an opportunity to talk like this.
I think it's great. I'm having a lot of fun. Honestly.
is
It's
great.
refreshing for me too. Honestly,
Hell
like
yeah.
as much as if it's very mutually beneficial, like the exchange. Like, oh, I'm feeling a catharsis being able to
Have
talk
you been on this side of it yet? Has anybody done this interview for you?
No, not quite yet. No, not yet.
One day I want to sit in your seat.
I would love to
and
do
I
it.
want to hear all about your life.
Oh, I love to do that. I mean, I feel like I could be a pretty honest guy. I watch my boundaries about certain things because my brother does a similar thing to what I do, and I feel like there's just certain things that like I allude to a lot more about certain stuff, but when it comes to just me, I don't mind talking about anything.
Yeah.
I just gotta sort of watch what I'm saying. But yeah, but talking about the stuff as a kid, it reminded me of like when I was a kid, I couldn't take my shirt off at a pool party. That was what I couldn't. Like, you're talking about not taking your shirt off for
Dude,
wrestling.
that's
I'm like,
what, that's the metaphor I made. I was wrestling with a vest on, and I said, I'm the fat kid in the pool with a shirt on.
Yeah, that's what I felt.
I said to people.
That's who I was. I was like, oh, I don't want to take my shirt off. And in junior high, before I started junior high, I did not know the concept of how to lose weight or anything. So I tried this weird experiment. I don't know if I've ever told this. I tried this weird thing where I taped my chest down. And I taped my thighs because I was like sitting on the toilet and I thought my thighs were so fat that I thought I could like, I don't know, elastic it to tightness. And then of course, when I took it off the next day, it didn't do jack shit. But yeah, that's how like, and of course that still carried on. So when people see this stuff about even as I've been losing weight, now I'm like, oh, I feel this pressure and I'm maintaining it. And it's the same way with success. It's like, oh, when you're not successful with financial stuff or career, it's about, oh, I'm not there, and you're trying to pursue it. Then when you have it, there's this giant fear that you're going to lose it at any moment, you know?
Yeah.
That's the
It
fear.
is interesting. I'm making less money this year than I would have if I, had the same job I did last year. But I'm definitely happier.
That's good.
Like
That's really good. Damn.
It's more obviously money. It's more stressful. I literally hate opening the Bank of America app. Like I avoid it, but I'm happier. Just day to day, I'm happier.
That's good, man. Dude, I've been loving this conversation. There's some quick things I do want to.
Okay.
There's questions I want to make sure I get to.
All right.
I used to open with this question, but I found it just started making people. I don't know if maybe this is too weird of a question, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just bring it in now. Who was your celebrity crush growing up, and why? Why was it this
growing
burn?
up?
Yeah. Who can you recall? Like that was
well-
my celebrity crush.
What came to mind was Lita, a wrestler.
Okay.
I had such a crush on Lita.
What was it about her?
Oh, she was just such a badass. She was so hot, and she was such a badass. And she used to like wear this little thong that came up over the jeans. And I was like, when that was my introduction to like, I think like just shit that was sexualized. Like WWE back then was pretty, like women were not treated the way they are now. They weren't given the respect they deserved.
Yeah.
Lita was a hell of a wrestler too. Like she was a badass. But I remember like that's who came to mind. I was like, oh, I had such a crush on Lita. I thought she was so hot and so cool. Like she was just like punk rock. She was just like or metal. She was metal, and I thought she was so cool. But I think of who was like the first actress I had a crush on.
Well, let's stick with Lita for a second.
Okay.
When you were because you talked about her personality. Do you find that even as you've gotten older or in your teen years or whatever, were you drawn to women like her? Because you also talk about your mom being like a badass, independent spirit, and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of seeing somewhat of a linkage here of like the kind of women you admire.
No, I think of the people I've seriously dated. I've only probably dated one I could compare to Lita in being like just a badass who's like, and I've dated some really cool people. Like, that's not to say that like nobody's badass or anything, but I think I've only dated one person who I would say is like this badass trailblazer type person who, I would even make that comparison to.
And what in the romantic, to give you, to try to illustrate this question, when I was young, I saw the movie Carrie.
Oh God, yeah.
And it did a number on me where it created the man crisis in me where like, oh, when I'm in high school, if I know a girl like her, that's the kind of girl I'm going to go for. Like I had that thing, which my wife is nothing like that, but like growing up, I had the rescue complexity, you know, like drawn to those kind of women. Did you ever have something of a connection with a female character like that where you're like, oh, I want to find a woman like that or something?
No, I don't. None that are coming to mind. I thought of Kate from Lost, but I just thought Evangeline Lilly was really cool and very attractive. But Kate was definitely a problem on Lost. I mean, I always loved, like, I was 16 when Iron Man came out, and I loved how Pepper Potts kind of was this unattainable thing for Tony, but they had this kind of love for each other. And was beautiful and would also keep him in his place. Like the way that she would be the one who'd be like there's the scene in the Avengers 1 where he doesn't want to do the homework that Phil Coulson's telling him to.
Yeah.
And she says, if you do this, and she goes, and his face is like, and I was like, that is like, she's motivated, she's independent as hell, she's she doesn't need Tony. She can run Stark Industries. And I always thought Pepper was really like just hot for how put together she is.
I mean, you keep listing women who are these qualities of like motivated, independent and stuff.
Dude, I need if I'm gonna be in a if I'm gonna actually be in a relationship with somebody, I really need somebody who's I'm so obsessed with work, and I'm trying to remove myself from that, but like I'm go. I like to be. Like, and that's even with my friends. That's just like relationships. I like to be with people who are down to pick up and go on a day's notice. Oh, we're going to London tomorrow. Because that's the job for me. And or we're going to Rome or Australia, whatever. But also like can do that and can push me to do the same thing. Sometimes I'll get pushed and I'll be like, I don't like being pushed. But I definitely don't like a pushover, if that makes sense. Like I like to be challenged. I really like to be challenged. And I also will challenge. So yeah, maybe it is. Maybe I'm learning about myself here. I don't know.
I feel like I'm learning about what kind of women you like. It's making more sense to me right now. And now a completely different pendulum swing here. What kind of horror do you fear the most? In horror movies and stuff. What actually really? Well, okay, let's start with something like what's a horror movie that truly scares you, or did?
The Strangers. That's the scariest movie I've ever seen, in my opinion. Supernatural stuff doesn't really mess with me. Used to when I was a kid, but the movies that are real, that can happen, mess me up. The Strangers is freaky to me because like that is so realistic. And the moment at the end where they're just like, because you were home, and they stab real slowly, that's like the scariest thing ever. The thought of being helpless, that is freaky to me. That freaks me out.
What was like the earliest memory you have of a horror movie that really affected you?
I remember seeing clips from Saw when it was on HBO in my house one time and being messed up by that. I think The Ring was before that. Like, The Ring freaked me out. The Exorcist. I remember just the trailer for The Ring scaring me. I think I was in, like, 5th grade. I don't know.
Were you ever haunted? I would have a thing. I saw The Grudge, and I had a thing for, like, a few weeks where at night, I would just feel like I'm going to see The Grudge thing, and it would scare me in my own head.
I went to an event for Insidious. I think it was Chapter 3.
Okay.
I also, horror is not my go-to genre. I don't like getting scared. But I went to this Insidious Chapter 3 event. It was outside the JW Marriott. They did this whole fucking activation where you'd walk through the thing, this trailer, and then they'd fucking follow you down the RV that was made to look like a scene from the movie. And then they'd sit you down in a chair, and they put a VR headset on you that would be the same room you were just in, but now it's VR. And there was a red door in front of you, and it opened, and it was so fucking scary. And like that night, I went to bed, and I woke up in the middle of the night.
Oh, really?
Wow. I woke up yelling, and I was like, holy shit, did people just hear me yelling? I cannot believe I just woke up yelling.
Wow.
Fucked me up. fucking scared me. That scared the shit out of me. I don't know why. I don't even remember the movie, to be honest. Insidious Chapter 3, it's like, what, 7, 8 years ago?
Yeah.
But it fucked me up.
I mean, it wasn't the movie. It was the experience that they provided.
The whole thing.
Yeah,
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, God. No.
Wow. Okay. I'm getting impressions.
Genuinely was just yelling. Woke up paralyzed yelling.
Who is your favorite action movie character?
Favorite action movie character? I mean, James Bond is awesome. I love Bond.
Is there an iteration?
I grew up on Pierce Brosnan, so like I go to him, but I think Daniel Craig's a better Bond than he was. He also just got better movies, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm a big Pierce Brosnan Bond guy. Like Die Another Day, I remember seeing that and being so excited to see that movie in theaters. John Wick. I mean, another broken character that I adore.
I think he's the character men like us want to be.
Dude, I also feel like I've just...
You're going to be sad and cool.
Part of me thinks I've like generated this sob story feeling that just is whatever operates in the back of my head that makes me feel like sadness or whatever. Because like I know my life is decent. I don't know why I feel bummed out so often. But like I don't...
You're in this duality of circumstance versus how you actually feel, though. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a perfect way to put it. You know, he lost his wife, he's lost his dog, you know, and then he goes on this rampage and is never gonna feel whole again. But he's cool as shit.
Right. That's cool. The thing. Like he can actually be depressed but fucking cool. Like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, normally you can't be both.
Dude, and like that's why I like Tony Stark. You could say what you want about him. Like he's a billionaire playboy genius philanthropist, but like that dude is trying to fill a void because his dad loved Captain America more.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's always like he wouldn't be who he is and this womanizer and this inventor and all this shit if he wasn't motivated by some kind of void. At least I don't think so.
I don't get the impression your dad was a very nurturing individual.
No.
It sounds like a kind of
not really. No.
Help provide that void for you. Yeah. Trying to fill
fucking Howard Stark.
Trying to be the best man you could be to fill this void.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So, and then, oh my God. Okay. I mean, I have to ask then. I mean, you did mention Tony Stark. Who is your favorite comic book movie character or comic book character?
I mean, Tony Stark is my favorite on-screen comic book hero ever.
Okay.
And it's for sure. Iron Man is my go-to. In comics, it's Nova. Nova is like, I like him because he's just refuses to quit. Like, I love the banter he has with the world mind. I love how he's this fish out of water on Xandar and then gets the powers and all that stuff. I think Rich Rider is just a really cool character. And it's also like I like liking a character that's different. But I cannot wait till they do Nova in the MCU. I think Ryan Gosling would have been a really good cast for that. But I think it's going to be a while till we see him. I also think his power set visual would be comparable to Captain Marvel. And so I don't think they're going to put those two together anytime soon.
And what is it about Tony Stark where you sound like you're inspired by this guy in some way? Is there an element
look at
of
his arc, dude? Like, come on, man. He started as like in high school, I was the guy who just like thought, okay, if I can get people to like me, if I had money, or if I can like have girls, whatever, like, that's what makes you cool, right? That's not what makes you fucking cool. Like maybe in some circles it is. It's not. And then he starts out as that, and then he finds fulfillment in family. He has a kid, and then he's like, you know what? There is things bigger than me. There's things and I used to be a person who thought I was the main character. My wrestling gimmick is the main character. I call myself the main character because to me that's such a heel gimmick, which like would be the bad guy gimmick in wrestling. If a Hollywood guy comes in and that's wrestling world thinks of me as a Hollywood guy, and calls himself the main character, like this guy's all ego. And if they ever let me get a microphone and explain why I call myself the main character at OVW, it's because I have spent the past 10 years telling everyone else's story, which has provided me with the best fucking experiences ever. But I get more fulfillment out of doing this for myself and being the main character in this story. And that's why I'm wrestling, is because there I get to be the main character of my story and not telling someone else's. And the irony of it is, wrestling is all telling the other guy's story. That's all, except when you're on a microphone talking about yourself, you're always telling the other guy's story. And Tony was like this character. He was the main character of the MCU. Started out as a douchey guy who, like, as a 16-year-old, I was like, I want to be that guy. Then you're like, no, I'm growing up. And then I kind of grew up with him, I think. And then he had a family in Infinity War and Endgame. And then he was like, there's things bigger than me here. I think he's just fucking awesome. He's just cool. Like, he's just fun to watch.
I think it's a perfect encapsulation, a perfect spot to end it on, especially with the main character stuff. Like, the irony of a main character, because they're often like lead, supporting. But the irony of a main character is they have to know how to support the supporting.
That's true. Yeah, very true.
And so like the fact that you're observant and aware of that as the main character.
Sometimes I wish I was less aware of things. Like if I feel like maybe it'd be more peaceful.
Yeah, that's the thing about the mindset, right? You can make you more aware, but then it can cause anxiety and paranoia.
Jesus, yeah.
But dude, I had a blast. I hope you had fun. I know you had to take a Uber over here on this trip. Are you gonna make your flight?
Shit. Yeah, I'll be good. I'm probably I left stuff at one. I'm gonna put I'll be good.
All right, man. Well, dude, thank you so much. We'll take a photo to promote this.
Dude, genuinely thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Yeah, you enjoy it? I hope you did. I always feel the pressure. Someone has to have. That's where I'm.
You're fucking good at this.
I hope they enjoy it. Yeah.
Like if the YouTube thing doesn't work out, which I think it is, maybe you have a career in therapy. You're good at this.
Film therapy is what we're gonna do. Yeah.
This is cool. This was really cool. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Thank you, brother. All right, guys. We'll see you guys soon. Follow Brandon Davis on Brandon Davis, some outlets, and Brandon Davis and Brandon Davis and Brandon Davis and Brandon Davis. Bye-bye.